TNA Wrestling crossed the line again as it was the go-home edition of Impact Wrestling prior to the exciting Slammiversary show tomorrow. Looking forward to watching that. Of course, on the TNA Plus app. If you haven't got the TNA Plus app already, go and get it. This week on TNA, the No Quarter Catch crew from NXT were on Impact. We also see if the Hardy Boys can claim tag team gold as the final episode from Philadelphia airs, say ahead of Slammiversary, which will be one of the biggest pay-per-views in the TNA history. It is sold out, massive attendance for TNA. Over 4,000 people will be in attendance this weekend, and good luck to the guys on the roster, the guys and girls on the roster. We can't wait to watch it and bring the review of Slammiversary to you on Monday. But TNA kicked off this week. Really, really good crowd at Philadelphia actually this week, and you saw the big TNA chants erupted as the show started this week, which is so good to see. It's always nice when you've got a rabid there, and Philadelphia's crowd are always there to give you a wonderful welcome. And the aforementioned No Quarter Catch crew did start things off against Trey Miguel, Zachary Wentz, and Kushida in a really good six-man tag team match. I mean, what a great way to start the show. NXT as well, repping this crossover, just carries on getting stronger and stronger for all parties on TNA for sure. And this was a great encounter. It had the brawling, it had the high flying, it had pretty much everything. And the No Quarter Catch crew did pick up the victory with a dragon suplex from Charlie Dempsey for the pin. Wonderful six-man. It's great, as I said, it's great to see the younger guys on NXT as well. Let's not forget, No Quarter Catch crew are young up-and-coming guys. They're getting some additional TV time on NXT as well as TNA. So they're improving every fight, every time they go at it. Obviously, the NXT names that are working with the likes of Shawn Michaels down at the Performance Center are certainly getting some great insights as well. So it is definitely working for both parties. And you don't know who's turning up and if there will be any surprises at Slammiversary on Saturday. I know Jordan Grace did drop a few little I won't say spoilers, but she dropped a few hints that we may be seeing some surprises on Saturday or tomorrow in this case. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what surprises we may see on Slammiversary this coming weekend on the TNA Plus app. One surprise that we did see on TNA after this match was the Rascals were in the treehouse, and Wes Lee from NXT was in the treehouse with them. You know, they are literally wanting to handle the No Quarter Catch crew. So I wonder if that's going to be happening. I don't know if it's going to be happening on Slammiversary or whether it's going to be happening at the tapings after Slammiversary. But it seems as though we're going to see the reuniting of the Rascals, perhaps at TNA on TNA this week. We did see them reunite this week on NXT against Gallus, and I just wonder if we're going to be seeing them reunite in NXT. And in fact, because the internet's such a wonderful thing, I was just typing as I was talking. The Rascals, Trey Miguel, Wes Lee, and Zachary Wentz will indeed take on Charlie Dempsey, Miles Bourne, and Tavian Heights this coming Saturday at Slammiversary. So we will see the reunition of the Rascals this weekend at Slammiversary. So make sure you do catch it because it is going to be one hell of a show. Looking very much forward to it. Someone that had a huge win this week on TNA Impact was Xia Brookside. She manages to defeat one half of the current tag team champions, Alicia Edwards, in actually a great knockouts contest. And actually, during this match, Tom Hannifan did say that Xia Brookside, Giselle Shaw, Tasha Steelz, and Fabi Apache will compete in a four-way knockout showdown on the countdown to Slammiversary show on Saturday as well. So Xia Brookside not only picks up a big win, probably the biggest win of her TNA career thus far, she is also put into the Fatal Four-Way showcase on the countdown, which will be really, really good to see. I'm really looking forward now. Xia Brookside is picking up that momentum. She hit the finisher off the top rope for the victory, and it is a huge win, like I said, against Alicia Edwards. If Xia had a teammate, perhaps they would be in contention for those knockout championships. If it was a single, as in if Alicia Edwards was a singles champion, she may well be in contention for a knockouts championship. But we don't know if she's going to get anything. But she may have to win that four-women's match on Saturday on the pre-show or the countdown show to get the opportunity to face a champion. But probably the biggest win, Xia is such a hard worker. She does do a lot of hard work, and it's paying off, and you can see it week in, week out on NXT. On NXT, well, maybe on NXT, who knows? On TNA, these names are killing me. But Xia Brookside with a big win in a great match over Alicia Edwards, and perhaps Xia can now really look to have some gold in her sights. We will certainly wait and see. Now, a match that's taken on a bit later on NXT. Jesus, NXT! Oh my God, I'm getting. You know what? It's hot. They're doing crossovers. I don't know anymore. What should we call this? NXT&A? Just so I don't keep getting it wrong, guys. I don't know. It's up to you. Later on TNA Impact. I'm gonna have to start saying Impact. Mike Santana will be taking on Dirty Dango, Johnny Dango Curtis. He laid out a message as well to him, and about how Dango has forced him to release the rabid dog sign of him. And we'll see if that comes out later on TNA Impact. Mustafa Ali this week. Now, if you know, this has been going on for a while with Speedball Bailey. He's never got the title shot. He's had to do a lot of work to get the title shot. Finally, he won a match where he got the title shot, Speedball Bailey, at Slammiversary to take on Mustafa Ali for the X Division Championship. He wanted to bring that forward this week to Impact and have a fight with Ali, but he had to run the Secret Service gauntlet. A lot of he destroyed quite a few of them in quite quick succession. One of them just decided not to bother. He went to get in the ring, jumped off, and went out, which was quite funny. But then Campaign Singh come out. There was some security guards around as well, and turns out one of those security guards attacks Speedball Bailey, and lo and behold, when he took the helmet off, it was Mustafa Ali, beaten down. He kept on about how, he was gloating to him as well. And it was just a bad beatdown for Bailey ahead of the match at Slammiversary. Although sometimes if you have the upper hand, you don't always win your match when it happens. And funnily enough, he was saying, Ali was saying that the match is not happening on Saturday at Slammiversary. Now he said the match is done. It's not happening. No longer taking his place. But then Santino, in a rare, serious moment for Santino Marella, he basically warns Ali never to put his hands on the official again, because there was officials that were getting they were getting assaulted as well. And his title match with Speedball Bailey on Saturday is very much on. Thank God for that. Thank God for Santino. We need this match on. This is going to be a great match. I'm really looking forward to Bailey and Ali. That was one I originally wanted when Bailey took on Trent Seven a couple of weeks back, a month or so actually ago. I felt Bailey and Ali would work better in a match, although Trent and Ali had a fantastic match actually. But I do think that this match is the one that suits both competitors. Both are extremely talented, and we will see, no doubt, a sensational match come Saturday or come tomorrow night at Slammiversary on the TNA Plus app. I think it could be time for a change in the X division, and I think Speedball Bailey is the man to bring it home. So Ali, just watch yourself. Speedball Bailey is coming for you, and he's coming for that title. Speaking of titles, that brings me nicely to the TNA Tag Team Championship match. The Hardy Boys, who got that rock star reception as they always do, they took on Brian Myers and Eddie Edwards, and they won the match. The Hardy Boys did indeed win the match. However, they won it by disqualification, as Johnny Dango Curtis intervenes in the match, causing the DQ. And not only did they cause the DQ, they beat down Jeff Hardy at the end. They crushed his neck that was into a chair, and it was, not a nice sight to see. The match certainly, although just talking about the match briefly, it had its moments, it dipped and it come alive again. And yeah, when you thought he was going to win the match, out comes Dango, knocked Jeff Hardy off the top of his game for the Swanton bomb. They sent him crashing to the floor. The bell was called for the DQ. They put Jeff Hardy's head through a steel folding chair and slammed it throat first into the ring post. They continued to beat down Jeff while the doctors and the officials were still trying to get around Jeff to protect him and to start working on Jeff's neck. So we don't know the severity. If there is anything serious with Jeff's neck injury, we don't know. At this point, anyway, we're hoping it's just a storyline beatdown, so to speak. But the Hardys did win that tag team match, albeit via disqualification. So the championship does not change hands. However, you do see Jeff being loaded into an ambulance on a stretcher, by the way, just before the next match, which we'll get to in a second. But what we will see at Slammiversary tomorrow night, the system, Brian Myers, Eddie Edwards, will indeed be defending those tag team championships against Bullet Club, ABC, Ace Austin, and Chris Bay will be challenging the system for those titles. So will Bullet Club win the championship again? We will wait and find out for sure on Saturday. We'll be looking forward to it. And hopefully Bullet Club, they've been back on the same page recently. There've not been no issues with them. They've been winning matches again. Is it time to go guns up one more time and be too sweet for those tag team championships? You can find out tomorrow, of course, on the TNA Plus app. Now, as we said, Johnny Dango Curtis was involved in that match, and that's set up very nicely. The next match against Mike Santana. This match also ended in a DQ. This was a hard-hitting match, by the way. Ended in a disqualification due to Mike Santana hitting Dango right in with a chair and absolutely beat the hell out of him with a chair right in front of the referee. So that after a hard-hitting contest, the last thing you want is to be smashed with a steel chair. But it certainly was the case this week. Santana obliterated him with a steel chair right in front of the referee, causing the DQ, and Johnny Dango Curtis did win the match, although he was busted open as well. He was left somewhat laying, so to speak, by Santana. So a bit of payback for Dango on that one for doing the dirty on Jeff Hardy. And Santana's not the guy that you want to receive any form of payback on. That is a certainty. So we'll see what happens between those two. I am just going to check the wonderful Tinterweb. Oh no, Santana has Jake something at the weekend, and that will be something, actually. That is going to be an incredible match. We will run down the card after we finish the review, or after we finish the overview this week of TNA Wrestling. Jordynne Grace was next. She was having a sit down with Hannifan ahead of her match with Ash by Elegance. She actually starts by talking about winning the title from Naomi Trinity, whoever you want to call her. And then she talks about her appearance at the Royal Rumble, going for the NXT Championship, Ash by Elegance costing her the title. And basically, she vows on Saturday, despite her belief that Ash is untouchable, she is not. She's going to prove it. And at that point, George the Iceman was on the phone to Ash by Elegance, telling her he's got manicures, pedicure appointments out for her in Montreal, all while he is talking to her on the phone. Rosemary is behind. Now, Rosemary made her presence felt last week. I'm not so sure what happens here. Does Rosemary cost Jordan Grace the title? Does Jordan Grace win the title and Rosemary wants the next shot? What is going on with Rosemary on TNA? We will have to find out. Maybe we'll get some clarity at Slammiversary this weekend on the TNA Plus app. Who knows? But yeah, Rosemary is acting, well, I'd say acting strange, but strange is kind of Rosemary's thing, right? So we'll have to, yeah, just have to watch Slammiversary on Saturday and find out what is going on with Rosemary. And will she cost Jordan Grace the Knockouts Championship on Saturday at Slammiversary? We will see. We will certainly see. One match that is going ahead and is going to be the main event of Slammiversary is the six-man match between Moose, Joe Hendry, Nick Nemeth, Steve Macklin, Josh Alexander, and Frankie Kazarian, and they had a contract signing. And as your Nick Nemeth was via Zoom because he had a torn labrum after an attack the other week. He's going to be cleared for Slammiversary. That's what Santino said. But as you know, with contract signings, do they ever go normally? Absolutely not. And of course, the Joe Hendry We Believe chants were there, but AJ Francis making his presence felt as well, and he's not even in the match. But he was saying how First Class is the real main event of TNA Slammiversary. But as he does so, of course, PCO comes out from under the ring, pops up, and they start brawling, and everybody starts brawling on Impact Wrestling. And the man that stands tall to put Moose through the table with the standing ovation, you guessed it, Joe Hendry. You say his name, he's not appearing yet. Maybe, hey, listen, TNA, if you're watching and you want to bring Joe Hendry on, I've said his name, so maybe you can make him appear on the podcast. That would be great. But yes, Joe Hendry hadn't signed the contract at this point. He was put Moose, and it was all going crazy by the time he was going to sign the contract, but he didn't get around to doing it. So he did at the end as Impact Wrestling goes off the air with Joe Hendry standing tall ahead of the match at Slammiversary. Will he win the match at Slammiversary? Well, I'll tell you what, we'll end up doing a prediction, a bit of a prediction at the end of this. Why not? Let's get a prediction show done at the same time. We've just done the whole match. Now, I'm also being very careful here. There is a global outage today on internet, and everything is going crazy. So I do need to try and wrap this up before we get any internet. I had the router flashing a few times now, so there is a worldwide global outage today. So we need to get this done pretty quickly, guys. So apologies if I rush. Taya Brookside, Giselle Shaw, Tasha Steeles, and Fabia Pache in a four-way match on the pre-show. I am going for Giselle Shaw in that one. I wouldn't rule out Zaya Brookside or even Tasha Steeles. I don't know. But Giselle Shaw is my pick on that. Kushida versus Jonathan Gresham. That's a feud that's been going a while now. Kushida still hasn't found a cure for the ink. So I'm going for Kushida to win that one. And maybe we'll find out the cure to Jonathan Gresham's black ink. Who knows? The other match on the pre-show is the Mashallah, Alicia Edwards, Masha Slamovich against Spitfire. Now, Spitfire, Lars Fredrickson has left Spitfire now. He's sorted out. He believes that team is now ready to go. That's going for the tag team, the Knockouts tag team titles. That's a tough one, That is a tough one. I am sticking with the system to win that. Alicia Edwards, Masha Slamovich, I think, will retain the Knockouts tag team champions. It makes sense for Spitfire to win it, but I think I'm going for Alicia Edwards and Masha Slamovich to retain. No Court Catch Crew versus the Rascals. I am going all day for the Rascals on that one. I think they are going to beat the No Quarter Catch Crew. Jesus, that is such a difficult word to say. Anyway, that is my pick for that. Be a great match, by the way. That could be show stealer of the night on that one. Santana something, Mike Santana versus Jake something. I will go for Mike Santana on that. Love both of those guys. Hard hitting match, that's going to be for sure. Two great guys, great futures in TNA for both of those. But Santana for me will pick up the victory. AJ Francis versus PCO for the Digital Media and Canadian International Heavyweight Championship. I'm going for AJ Francis to win this and Steph DeLander to screw PCO out of that match and join first class. That is what I think is going to happen in that. I've said it all along. I do not trust Steph DeLander, and I don't trust her one iota. So AJ Francis will retain. Steph DeLander will cost PCO the championship. The System versus AB Bullet Club ABC for the TNA World Tag Team Championships. Ooh, you know what? I'm going for the System to retain. I'm not sure Bullet Club are still on the same page. So for me, System retain that. Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers will retain that. Broken Matt Hardy versus Dango. I'll go for Matt Hardy. I think Dango's owed one from the Hardys. So Broken Matt will win that one for me. Ali versus Bailey, and what is going to be a fantastic X Division match. That is going to be, I said show stealer earlier on. You got one right there as well. I am going on that one for Mike Bailey to win the X Division Championship. The only potential thing that could cost him is his tag partner, Trent Seven. He could turn on Mike Bailey on that. But I think Mike Bailey should win the X Division Championship from Ali on that one. So we'll see. Or like I said, Trent Seven could cost Mike Bailey the title, but that is my pick, Mike Bailey to win. Jordan Grace, Ash by Elegance. Do you know what? That is not as easy as it sounds. Ash has been on a great run. Jordan Grace has been on a great run. Do you know that is a real tough one. I'm going to say Jordan Grace. Do I? No, mind change. Ash by Elegance is going to win the Knockout Championship. That's what I think. Ash by Elegance will win the Knockout Championship, and it will free Jordan Grace up to do more stuff on NXT without the championship. That is my prediction. Ash by Elegance will win the Knockout Championship. Main event, the 6-way elimination match. TNA should believe in Joe Hendry, but I think as Joe Hendry stood tall at the end of Impact this week, I don't think he wins. I am going to stick with Moose to retain the title, and I think Moose will hold it until Bound for Glory, where he will then lose it to potentially Joe Hendry in a one-on-one match. But Moose, I think, retains the championship. Guys, I need to go, not because I want to, but because with this worldwide outage, I don't want to get all the way to the end of this review and have to do it all again. So I'm going to let you go. Just follow us, Hitting the Turnbuckle Podcast, HTTB on Twitter, Hitting the Turnbuckle Podcast on all other social media outlets. Watch Slammiversary Saturday on a TNA Plus app. Big thanks to TNA and Steve Macklin this week. Go check out his interview on our playlist, on the TNA playlist. Go check out the interview with Steve Macklin. And we'll be back on Monday with the Slammiversary review. Miss it and you miss out. TNA Plus app tomorrow night, Slammiversary. Until next time, everybody, buckle down, stay safe, and goodbye.